What topic? Yeah, did you have a topic?
I did have a topic, yeah.
Cool. So let's do that. Let's close on your topic.
I'm trying to get this as articulate as possible for you guys.
You're not going to beat me, so don't worry too
much. Okay. It has to do with a cultural aspect, especially our culture, and it's in regards to like the principles of self-care, like the importance of taking care of yourself. Just the industry I work in, I see it as an epidemic that we're constantly putting everyone and everything else first. And there's this kind of stigma around things like, yoga and meditation that I teach, or spa, or, taking a me day, taking a mental health day, going and getting a massage, whatever it is. It's seen by the untrained eye as selfish. My point being, I think that it's selfless. Like, there's this old Zen saying, there's nothing left to pour out of an empty cup. Now you got to recharge your batteries, that energy management piece. Like, can you take care of yourself first? Which most people don't. We burn out. We tend to, like mothers of the world, they keep everything glued together, and then, their own health deteriorates because of that. So it speaks to that piece of mental health as well, right? Like, are we willing to dive in? So
that's an incredibly poignant topic, considering I think all of us have burnt out at some point in the past couple weeks trying to pull this all together, right?
Yeah, it's a huge production what you guys are doing, right?
Yeah,
most people don't see that either, too, right?
So that's the whole point.
Yeah, right.
So I'm gonna go first. As that's a lesson that I continue to learn as a business owner, because I came from I used to be very, very hippy dippy socialist. Everybody should share everything. And I still that's the way I naturally think. But you can't run a successful business that way. Yeah. So and I have a really hard time. I project my feelings onto our team members often. and even though whether or not they're actually thinking or feeling this, I don't know, but this is just always how things filter through my mind. Is it's like, okay, well, so we charge, for example, $35 an hour for music lessons. Typically, we pay out the people on our team $5 an hour. Okay, so I'm just saying there's an example. So we're only paying out and you took it. You asked a question from a spiritual angle. I'm just answering it from a business.
Not
angle.
even a spiritual angle, just a pragmatic level.
Right? You're right. So I always feel guilty. I'm like, I wish I could be paying my staff more. But then I can't pay the rent, and I know these guys don't understand. They think that I'm not valuing them as team members, but it's like, and I feel guilty for tremendously guilty for taking that they generate. But I know that that's absolutely. I heard that.
There was this.
Oh, yeah. So, but
don't believe me, you'd know.
Yeah, that's why you sit there.
No, so I have to filter that through my brain all the time, and I just sort of expect that people think like, oh, you, Patrick, that I'm earning for this enterprise, but it's really, I always go and I over-explain. It's like, listen, guys, it's like, I wish I could pay you more, but I can't because that's all the money.
That's the system that we live in that we've got to survive.
But that's the thing is, you need to feed the machine, or else none of this would happen, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that God created this building and these lights and that fish tank.
Jesus is just
right.
We're going down that path, are we?
We're starting to call.
But that's a lesson that I have to like force myself to learn, and it's because it like, success, being healthy, being happy, for some reason, my initial guttural reaction is like, well, I don't deserve that. I need to make sure everybody else is doing better than I am. But that's my responsibility, and it's hard to not to destroy yourself in the process if you do you know what I mean?
So,
yeah,
but you can relate that kind of thing to relationships. You can relate it to.
Can I touch on that one? Because that's kind of where I'm in with my life right now. Is there's that old saying that you can't truly love anyone until you love yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a saying. People say things like that. Sometimes they're crazy. So we're just running out of media left, right, and center here.
I don't even know how that was possible.
So anyway, so the point I'm trying to get at is, if I know when I'm not taking care of myself, I'm tired, I'm worn out, I'm exhausted, I'm hungry. I just want the world to just kind of just go away, but I still have to deal with my wife and my dog and my cats and the bills, and life is still very much present all the time. And I am definitely guilty of not being the best partner when those things are compounding on me and I can't deal. I just, not like I lash out like I beat my wife, like that does not happen.
Yeah.
But I'm just not the best person to be around, right?
We can have
And everybody's
crappy
like that,
days,
right?
right? Like, yeah.
So I'm in the process of making changes in my life to try and limit those variables so that less and less of that happens, so I'm a more enjoyable person to be around, so that we can enjoy our life together. So it is a selfless thing. It's a selfish thing because I'm putting myself first for a lot of the decisions I have to make. But those decisions are, it is very conscious in my mind that those decisions are selfless, that I'm going to be, not I'm going to be, but I would be willing to take a job for less money, knowing I can't have more things for myself, to be able to live closer to home or work less or just to be happier in general, right?
Totally.
So I think it's one of those yin and yang kind of things. You can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
They both sides of that coin have to be there.
And those are really like down to earth, like accessible ideas, right? Like the one I like to think of is like, okay, you've got a job doing something really important, say operating a train or a plane or diffusing bombs. You decided that you weren't going to take, the time to get a good night's sleep. What's your mental faculty like when you go to diffuse that bomb and drive that train? You're gonna need these things in your life for you to take care of. And for me, it's like I utilize the technology and sciences of, tools and skills of yoga and meditation for me. I know for myself, I am just a much better person if I meditate at least once a day. Very simple, just following my breath. It's nothing, super airy-fairy spiritual. It's very much just helping to kind of clean the space out, right? So I know I need that for me, and I know that I am that much more available to the people that I care about, the job that I have, which is caring for people, and my partner for her, being able to be that much more available.
So if I can selectively take some of what you just said there to pick on you, does that mean it's like, and we're talking about this in our news media right now, is it society's responsibility to provide PTSD, what am I trying to say?
Yeah,
post-traumatic stress disorder
PTSD
relief to, say, paramedics? Or should those paramedics have been taking better care of themselves the whole time and meditating and making sure that they got a good night's rest and making sure that they had 2 cats so that they didn't get so worn down?
Well, for those specific jobs, absolutely, it should be provided for them. I mean, those people see. I have a couple of clients that are first responders, and they see some horrifying stuff. Even locally, they have seen some pretty horrible
stuff. Any community, man, something's bound to happen, and the first one's there. And
I gotta dig myself out of the hole by saying what I'm really doing there is evoking Ayn Rand, who I am a big fan of, but
comes back up again.
Well, let's call a spade a spade. The woman was almost certainly a racist, and
she's a horrible person.
And she,
art and artist. Is that what we're doing?
Back to art and artist. She didn't really allow race or religion to impact on her philosophy, but she also really ignorantly avoided them and ignored them, and that's probably partially because of the upbringing that she had and the place that she found herself in after she was kicked out of Russia. The point is, her take on selfishness is that it's not a bad thing, that in fact selfishness is what you need to do as an individual, because nobody else is going to be selfish for you.
Yeah, well, it's like if you're in an airplane and you're crashing, what's the first thing they tell you to do is put your own gas mask on before you start helping other kids, because you're not much good to anybody if you're dead, right? Like,
but there's a difference. There's a difference between propelling yourself on I think the kind of level that Ayn Rand's talking about of like, well, I'm going to go stake out my claim and get my land and get my worth, as opposed to literally caring for the systems of your body, from musculoskeletal nervous system, like having a mental breakdown, caring for your body, like okay, I have this for me is a big thing that comes up when I work with a lot of men, because there's this idea, this sexist approach of men of like, gotta have 6-pack abs, can't, it's girly to put on moisturizer cream. I'm sorry, but if my fingers are cracked and bleeding, which they get in the wintertime, I'm gonna. That's too.
Just show them Bill Burr talking about how white people get ashy too. We just can't tell.
Yeah, it comes down to like, can we get rid of some of this social constructs that have become norms of like, I'm not gonna do yoga because it's too for women, right? Like, this is all about self-care. There's a reason you had a heart attack at the age of 50 because you're not willing to deal with your stuff. The adult response would be, I'm going to take care of myself because that's how I take care of everyone else.
It's always about the journey, not the result, right?
Totally,
So in order to sort of carry on being constructive and effective and having a good, just doing good shit for the world with the life that we've been given for whatever reason. Yeah, like
we've been taught to put ourselves down, right?
Yeah.
Like I teach this idea. I call it treating yourself as your own perfect lover. So if you can, in your minds, imagine your perfect lover, you're perfect, and you might have that in your life, right? So I'll think of my fiance. And then I think about all the things that I would say or do to myself and during the day, whether it's looking in the mirror, whether it's putting myself down, I'm like, I'm not good enough. Mm-hmm. All of these little tiny thousands of things you say to yourself, think about yourself, believe about yourself. If you were to voice those things every day, walk into the room, greet your partner and say, you're ugly, or you know what, this eyebrow is not perfect, or your eyes kind of sagging, whatever it is, you go for it, or you know what, I can't, you're not accountable, or I think you're lazy, whatever it is, sorry. Then treat your, if you were to treat them that way for one day,
well,
how long would they stay, right?
It's apparent too. Like if Renee just came in and said, "I feel really stupid today," you'd probably give her shit for that. You'd say,
totally.
like you're
yeah, totally.
Like, so why wouldn't you treat yourself the same way? Why would you tell yourself, "Oh, I'm stupid"?
So why do we feel like we have to self-deprecate? Why do we have to not take care of ourselves? So that's my point with that is like, experiment for one day treating yourself as if you were treating your own perfect lover, right? Would you draw them something? Would you draw them a bath?
Sorry, Eric, there's no homework on this podcast.
Right? So, just for you.
That's so funny. My original topic was going to be to give you all homework.
No, Tom called it no homework.
No.
So
too bad it's
what's
next week's topic.
So what's the answer then, Eric? If I'm going to advocate for myself, but somebody comes and I'm totally bringing Rand back into it again. Sorry, guys. Her big issue was the looters, right? The people who she would say
people who played loot.
The people who LOOT, the people who are inhibiting, to put Patrick on the spot, Patrick from feeling good about the fact that he's creating jobs, because they come along and they say, well, you're charging $35 an hour and you've got a pretty nice apartment and you have pets and you've got clean clothes and tattoos, and so I need a little more money because times are tough, man. Mm-hmm. And she saw that as the only dichotomy in the world, and that's where her ignorance really shines through. But she saw the providers and the looters, and everybody who could be selfish and do for themselves was just being clawed down by these emotional sycophants who were all saying, I would like some more, please, sir. And she saw that as the ultimate evil. But unfortunately, and I really want to ask, if I could ask her one question, it would be, was Atlas Shrugged all kind of tongue-in-cheek? Because her answer was, they all just gave up. John Galt slammed on the brake for the motor of the world, and actually he didn't, it turns out, spoiler alert. But the rest of them, every time
I look at that book, I get anxiety.
Yeah, you can bludgeon somebody to death with the soft cover version.
That's
of
true.
that book.
That's so
I
true.
literally opened it up the other day, saw the size of the print, was like, no, this needs to wait a couple more years.
The antagonist gives a speech towards the end of that book, and it's like 60 pages. It takes you 4 hours to read the speech of the antagonist, where he basically tells them all, like, unless all the providers come back, we are going to start just destroying all these things that they have created for us. So wherever all you people who created society are, you better come back. Because they were all hiding in a canyon in Colorado.
Yeah.
Because they saw all these looters as just leeching off of them. Mm-hmm. And so their answer was to give up. But is that really the answer?
The answer is, and this is what I'm coming to grips with, is the answer is always teach a man to fish. Like, you don't know how to build an engine? I'll show you how to build an engine. Let's not stop the engine of the world. Let's build two. Yeah.
I think that's a good note to go out on.
Atlas should shrug.
Yeah.
Bear down.
Turn his head and cough. All right, that's the Cahootscast. Our lovely friend Eric Cunliffe over at Shakti Rhythm. Go check him out. Yeah.
That was a good one today.
Thanks for
we
watching.
talked about a lot of shit. That was good.
tea.
Yeah. And break.